Hello and good evening, meteorologist Mike Adcock with an update on Typhoon Hagupit located east of the Philippines. This briefing is based on the 12 Zulu Japan Meteorological Agency advisory from the 5th of December. Take a look at satellite imagery. Kind of went through all sorts of ups and downs with this storm today on Friday. Earlier this morning, a little bit of an eye wall replacement cycle coupled with about 20 knots of vertical shear weakened the storm a bit, saw the eye go away. Since then, the eye has cleared back out again, kind of going through some fluctuations. That's pretty typical with a storm that is of this intensity. Start to go with those minor scale fluctuations that do change the intensity up and down. As of 12 Zulu, though, the Dvorak analysis right now showing about a 6.5, holding steady with a 15 nautical mile eye with this system. As of 8 p.m. Philippine time, though, center of circulation was estimated about 390 kilometers to the east-northeast of Tacloban, or 535 kilometers east-southeast of Legazpi City. It continues to move west at 13 kilometers per hour. That is a slower forward motion than what we saw yesterday. The other thing is we've been seeing some wobbles, maybe a little bit north of west, a little bit south of west, but generally on this westward motion. Current winds have increased on this advisory anyway, 195 kilometer per hour sustained winds with gusts up to 280 kilometers, and our central pressure has fallen down to 915 hectopascal. Pagasa has issued public storm warning signals for portions of the Philippines. Right now, Signal 2 is out for southern Bicol region, as well as all of the eastern Visayas and northern Cebu. That includes Cebu City. Outside of that, we are seeing storm signal 1 that does include portions, the northern portions of Mindanao. Right now, what we're looking, though, is Saturday night into early Sunday morning, looking for this system to make landfall. Right now, looking eastern Samar, northern Samar area. With this system, as it tracks across the northern Visayas and southern Luzon, we're going to see very strong winds, very heavy rainfall, in some locations well over 300 millimeters of rain there. And the other thing we want to keep an eye out for is storm surge there along the eastern shores of Samar. You could see generally 1 to 2 meters of storm surge in some particular bays and inlets. You could see that up to more like 3 or 4 meters. So some we will definitely keep an eye on as this system makes its way into the Philippines. All right, kind of give you an idea of what's going on, the big picture. You do see earlier today the eye was not as prevalent as it is now. It is cleared up quite a bit. Outflow, though, with this system on the northwest side, very well ventilated, at least in this corner. You do see the shear that's going on, though. Notice the outflow to the northwest and the lack thereof in the southeast corner. We'll touch on that in a little bit. Also want to point your attention to the East China Sea out toward Korea. A lot of the cloudiness you're seeing here in these green shades, that's sea effects snow showers. High pressures moving out of China, bringing a lot of cold air with it. That's kicking up those snow showers. Now, the important part of this is as these winds move southeastward, it does reorient itself and develops the northeast monsoon. So that's also going to help. A, it's helping out with the shear, and B, it's also going to help keep this typhoon from making too much more northern pushes. Take a quick look here. Actually, jump out of the... take a look anyway of this surface analysis. Here's a cold front that's moving out. This was the trough that we've been looking at over the past couple days. This was really the game maker on whether or not the storm would recurve or not. Obviously, we're seeing that's not going to be the case, and this system will move into the Philippines. As that moves out, high pressure building in behind it, that's pushing that cold air, that cold surge, that's going to reorient itself and make for the northeast monsoon. Let's take a look real quick here. Bear with me here. Pulling up earth.nullschool.net. Great imagery if you've ever utilized it. But this is a surface analysis. Now, granted, this is based off of the GFS model. However, it does illustrate that cold push that's coming along the East China Sea, reoriented itself and setting us up for the northeast monsoon. That's also influencing the typhoon. Now, as we go up to about 500 hectopascal, now this is going to be about 18,000 feet, do see an appearance of the polar jet stream that's digging across and helping to support that cold front east of Japan. Now, I bring this up because not only do you have this, you do have this area of high pressure over Indochina and extending up into China. That's also bringing northwesterly flow toward the typhoon, and that's helping to create those shear conditions. Note right here, northwesterly winds. Let's go on up to about 250 hectopascal. This is going to be up about 38,000 feet. And at this point, now we're seeing the easterly winds merging back up with this confluent asymptote. Very, very strong winds. The jet at this level, very intense, seeing wind speeds well in excess of 150 knots. So now we've got this shear. Here's going to be our cap. We're not going to see the northern, we're not going to see that recurvature at this point. You're going to see the increased outflow in the northwesterly quadrant. And then here on the back side of this anticyclone, you do have more inflow coming through versus outflow. So that's why you're seeing the lack of cirrus aloft in the southeastern quadrant. That's helping to influence that wind shear. All right, so let's see if I can get back here. So let's go ahead and take a look at the storm tracks. This is the official track from the Japan Meteorological Agency. Right now, looking for landfall. They're in central Samar. This is going to be more early Sunday morning, and then tracking across and eventually making landfall there in Occidental Mindoro. Now, I point that part out because I want to show the variance in the track. This is another thing that we've been talking about, is how the models have not been in agreement. As a result, the various forecast agencies have not been in agreement. Now that things are starting to clarify, we see, okay, the trough, or that front that's moved through Japan, that one is not going to be a factor anymore. It's not going to recurve this system, but there's still some remnant disagreement on what's going on. So let's go ahead. This is the Pagasa forecast. You notice the eventual landfall a little bit further north, more toward northern Samar, the border there between northern and eastern Samar, and then actually it takes it on toward Oriental Mindoro. Now, as we go over to the JTWC track, it's even further north, so we still have that variance going on. Matter of fact, the center of circulation just clips or just misses northern Samar, and then the eventual track misses Mindoro altogether, and we're seeing landfall a little bit closer, or at least on the south side of Metro Manila. The point being is, let's not focus so much on this track. This is a very large storm, so of course the effects are going to be felt well outside of the center of circulation. Matter of fact, just looking at this particular track, these lines here, this is going to show gale force winds. So you do see a wide swath that's going to be impacted by this storm. But again, let's look at the cone of uncertainty. There is a lot of variance. There are various scenarios that could pull this storm more north or more south. So everybody really in Luzon and the Visayas will need to continue to monitor the progress of this storm. And then again, just emphasizing the variance. This is the multi-track this is the multi-agency tracks out there. Again, general consensus is northern Visayas, southeastern, southern Luzon, but again, there is a lot of uncertainty with this storm. Do want to share with you, this is the GFS forecast model over the next 4 days. I bring this up showing the amount of rainfall. Highlighted there in orange, we're seeing rainfall totals cumulative between now and 4 days from now of 100 millimeters. Highlighted in red is going to be 200 millimeters, and in white 300, at least 300 millimeters. And you've seen portions of Samar, Leyte, as we go up toward Mindoro. A lot of locations are going to be seeing some very, very heavy rainfall with this system. So, besides the strong winds, we're going to see heavy rainfall. So with that, landslides, flash flooding. Of course, we can't forget the possibility of storm surge there on the coastal areas of Samar. Of course, we're going to continue to monitor the situation over at westernpacificweather.com. You can go there, get more information. We're going to be talking Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Philippines time, doing a live update, so feel free to join us at that time. And you can also join in on the conversation at storm2k.org. Thank you all for tuning in. Be safe. Have a great day and take care.